There we go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again with me on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider what it's like walking the middle way. That's the thing that I've been feeling inspired by. I woke up this morning a little bit earlier, and then I started my day, and I made the unfortunate mistake of looking at the news. Silly me. Looked at the news, looked at the opinions of other people, and just like that, I found myself not really concerned, but very much aware of the concerns that I would usually take onto myself, right? Seeing it very much so from this perspective of I am existing in a certain way, right? And then there are these extremes in which we catastrophize, we convince ourselves that there is more wrong than there might be, right? Like instead of us talking about to to bring an extreme into the space, instead of us talking about like a car accident, we have to talk about how bad the car accident was, right? How mangled the car was. We add these elements of extreme to what could be seen as the ordinary, right? And in doing so, I do believe we make it more entertaining, more interesting to the discerning mind, because it wants to discern between what is a threat and what isn't a threat. And as a result, the poignant, the sharpness of certain realities seems to be what our minds gravitate towards, because that's what gets people's attention. And I am doing this stream today trying to share in mindfulness the opposite of that energy, right? Instead of getting ourselves super involved in the extremes, and I am no saint when it comes to this particular point. I like drawing extremes as well because it, in my opinion, allows my mind to try and find some sort of middle way, all right? That if the one side of the extreme is God is good, and the other side of the extreme is children of cancer, all right? Where do I find myself in between? And that, I believe, in another extreme, is the middle way that we're supposed to be finding. And what does that middle way look like to us? I feel even if every single one of us in this space right now had to make a conscious effort to adopt the middle way in our lives, the way that middle way would look different from person to person would astound us, right? All of us walking the middle way, yet not one of our paths the same. And I do try and keep myself in that state of mind for as much as I can, right? I try to be almost a voice to the other side of the extreme when I find one side of the extreme being shared, right? For example, maybe looking at US politics right now, there is this extreme sentiment that the US is over, right? That it's going to fall apart, that everything is going to explode, and we're going to go back to Mad Max times. All right. And that's like the extreme. That's the part of us that wants to protect ourselves, will entertain these ideas so that we might be prepared if that was what came along. Thank you for the floating heart, Catherine. That's so nice of you. Right? Like that's something that we are scared of collectively. However, the other side of the extreme, and this is again, I feel like the role I play sometimes, is that when I hear these extreme bads, I would like to offer the extreme good that is all around us. The extreme good that there is in friendships, right? The extreme good that there is in still having food to eat, having air to breathe, having water to drink, right? And even something as simple as, and maybe this is an extreme that not everybody wants to hear necessarily. You okay? Feel better? You look like you feel a little bit better than you did a moment ago. Do. Joe is feeling a little bit under the weather. Send her healing vibes. With your mind, send her healing vibes. Healing, healing. Her tummy feels a little bit upset. She took a medication this morning that does not seem to be as happy about it. We did fast yesterday, and I think that might have something to do with it a little bit. So, as I was saying, the other side of the extreme, right? Someone might be telling me, oh, things are so bad. Can you believe what we're seeing on the news? It's a horrible, like, and all of us are going to explode. And then I go, you know, it's the best time to be alive ever. Did you know that? Right now, best time ever to be alive, relatively speaking. All right. And again, that side of the extreme isn't always as appreciated. Because don't you know I'm here to worry? Don't you know that? I'm not here to not worry. I'm here to worry right now. I'm nudging myself towards the extreme of the middle way that I could be walking. Did you used to stream on Reddit? Keisa Kuruto. Probably butchered your name. Yes. I had longer hair back then, but it is the same me doing these streams since Arpan days. What up? When if you want to protect yourself, if you want to protect yourself, I have good news. Swaggered products and services will protect your gut with the healthy biome you need to stay fit, fun, and full of energy. Seeing your favorite hip hop artists is the perk you didn't expect. Joe's tummy is upset. It is. Well, do I have something for you? Swaggered Products and Services provides balance in the digestive tract that is unmatched and will leave you feeling fresh. I breathe mindfully. We got Christy here. Christy, friend, we were sending you so much love yesterday. It's nice seeing you here in chat with us. I remember you used to dance on here, on there. Yeah. Yesterday. Yesterday was dance day. On Wednesdays. I still dance on Wednesdays. Did a dance right here. I mean, like where you're standing right now is where some of the dance was happening. It was fun. I still enjoy dancing as much as I did back then. I feel these days, I think I'm a better dancer, but I also feel even more performance anxiety when I'm dancing, right? Like the reality of the fact that I'm being watched dawns on me more these days than it did on me those days. Back in the day, I was kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Unbothered could be one perspective, but not so much unbothered as dissociating. Little bit dissociating. Like technically, because and I still do this to this day. I pretend that it's only you, a single person on the other side of this, right? And then I'll almost like reading a room, right? Sometimes I'll try and like talk into a room, but usually I make eye contact with a single person and the thing that I'm talking about, right? And in that way, it makes it a little bit easier for my conversational skills, my willingness to engage with a person instead of just a crowd. I think it becomes a little bit impersonal that way. Dramatically burst through wall, 90s commercial style. Did someone say swaggered? Yeah. Joe is going to be our first spokesperson slash ambassador, right? I used to have sore tummy, and then I had some swagger. And now look at me, right? And then Joe is like completely Bojack, like got arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger, has the thickest mustache you've ever seen. One of those curl up mustaches, you know, has chest hair. Why am I doing this? What's wrong with me? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just leaning up. I'm just leaning thick into this because love is true. Then that Arpad stream, you used to dance on there. Swagger is the food. Uh, why don't you stream on Arpan anymore? I don't know if you're still here. I hope you are. But the reason I don't stream on Arpan anymore is because they discontinued that service. They were like, minute, we ain't got enough storage for the servers. All of these live streams are taking up server storage space. Then delete the live streams, asshole. I mean, I'm calm. I'm chillaxed. Then delete the live streams instead of keeping them saved for eternity. Have you considered that? No. No, they didn't consider. They just killed. The equivalent of shooting fish in a barrel. To poor Arpan. However, I did not stop. I set the intention to stream forever, every single day for the rest of eternity. And a platform dying is no excuse. I'll say. Yeah. We were lucky enough that we were doing dual streams for a while there, where we would do an Arpan stream on the one, and we would do a horizontal stream on the second. My brother had 3D printed for me a phone holder that I could like slot one phone in on top of the other phone. And that allowed me to do like these streams like doubled up. And when Arpan died, the one just went away and this one kept crawling along. Swaggart is the food you need. Swaggart, not malfunctioning. Eat now, biome, hip hop, powering down. Swaggart. Love y'all bunches. We love you, y'all. Feel better, beloved. I want to announce to chat that Christy has promised to watch Star Wars Episode 6 today. She powered through 1 to 5 in like 2 weeks flat about 3 months ago, and now she's being flaky. But today she promised. Yeah, here you go. The whole community now knows, Christy. If you don't watch Star Wars Episode 6 with Dan, all of us will shun you, right? Look at you all funny. It's like, oh, I heard. She doesn't even watch Star Wars Episode 6. Did I miss your wedding? No. Wedding is happening on the 4th of April. There is still some time yet before the wedding will happen. And that's too bad about Arpan being defunct. I'm surprised I found you again. Well, if you like me, relatively, if you tolerate me, we can get a subscribe. I haven't stopped, seriously. I've been doing one of these streams every single day. Click on the title. If you click top, those little bobules, and you check the title, you'll see it says Melt something something day 1869. Nice. Yeah, we've been going. I will watch it, Danny. I will watch it. In all caps. No, Adam, it's April 4th. True. Thought you're gonna say May the 4th at that. May the 4th be with you. You don't know the power of the dark side, Christoph. Melt, what do you mean by walking the middle? Where this sounds very Buddhist. Technically, I've been inspired. It was a little bit inspired by the whole Buddhist perspective of walking the middle way. There's a few things in the different religions that I do, what's the word I'm looking for? Not gravitate towards, not associate with, find value in, I guess. And the middle way in the Buddhist perspective is one of those that I can find value in. However, Nancy friend, as you're asking, the way I'm applying it today is as it relates to the information we receive from the world, right? Where it seems like the information the world wants to give is extreme, right? It's extreme in nature. Everything is so bad. Everything is the worst it's ever been. Everything is falling apart. Things they don't make things they used to make them. I heard this conversation recently actually. I wanted to say something, but I stayed quiet. In the middle way, kind of way, right? Where they were like, "Oh, my Nokia 3310, I can still power it on today after it was in the water 10 years ago," kind of thing, all right? And I can still power it on today. And then the other person goes, "Yeah, shows you that they could be fixing them, or they could be making them to last forever or whatever, last a long time, but they just don't." And then in my mind, I go, "Do you know? Do you know how much more complicated our new cell phones are? They have extreme amounts of RAM. They have extremely large, relatively speaking, to what those things used to have, processing cores, right? And with that scale, right, you can think of it like a city, right? Imagine the Nokia 3310's little CPU city was like a population of 1,000. And now these things, with their CPUs, is a population of 1 billion. Like it's that kind of scale difference. Not a million, 1 billion people can live in that city, where only 1,000 could live in the previous one. And then, with that scale difference, right, in the same way that a town with only 1,000 people, when their infrastructure breaks, maybe it inconveniences a larger group of those people, but it will be easier to fix that problem, relatively speaking, where if the infrastructure dies in a city of 1 billion people, getting stuff fixed or making sure nothing ever breaks is a way harder proposition, and is in some ways unfeasible, right? Like even if I could design this thing in order to last 5, 10 years longer, if that was even a possibility, the technical prowess and the potential costs incurred would be relatively so high that in the production of millions, if not billions, of devices, it'll bankrupt the company in them doing that, right? And again, this is what I'm trying to share with today's stream topic. Like I was receiving an extreme in the audio sense, and instead of leaning into that extreme, like, yeah, they are making our stuff worse, and they are, right? I'm not arguing about that part. Sometimes they are making, planned obsolescence. That's also a thing. But instead of like leaning into that poutiness and being like, "Oh, things are worse now," I'm like, "Yo, sure, your Nokia 3310 was nigh indestructible, but could your Nokia 3310 take high definition photos, 4K 60 FPS video? Could it do live streaming on demand? Could it open Netflix if you wanted to? Could it be a source of valuable information? Could you use your Nokia 3310 to take a picture of an object that you don't know what it is and then ask a literal language model, a trained intelligence, in order to help you identify what it is you're looking at?" No, didn't think so, right? So what would you rather want? Would you rather want what we have right now that comes with its flaws, or would you rather want to go back to Nokia 3310? And in that exploration, there is a middle way to be found, right? Yes, I still like, maybe you have a Nokia 3310 in your closet, where if worse came to worse, you can put a SIM card in it and still be able to call your mom or whatever, right? But I would rather, every single time, live in the world we're living in right now. Right? And that's me, the middle way. Right? We're literally living. Here we are. This is the middle. This is the middle. Everything means everything, including the bad stuff. Right? And somewhere in between bad stuff and good stuff, there is everything else. And that's where we are right now, friends. That's where we are. And I feel finding not only comfort in that, but joy, finding some satisfaction in the fact that sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's just right. All right, and we are somewhere in the middle at all times, even cosmically. All right, in between the sizes of atoms and proteins and the sizes of planets, we are so conveniently somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the middle. just like cushioned by reality. And to feel safe in that, that is what I'm trying to get across. Like, can you feel safe? Can please? For a second. I know reality is trying to convince you you're not safe right now. But can you feel safe? For something as simple as where it is you are right now. Alright? Feel safe enough to take one big breath. Yeah. Nothing exploded. I'm still here. Safe. Love is true. Thank you for asking, Nancy. How are you feeling today, friend? I'm gonna be in trouble. Sam won't shun you, Christy. I don't believe in Star Wars. I'm not about to let current events convince me either. Yeah. Love you, Sam. Thank you. I knew you were gonna say something. Yeah. Sam will be on your side. Be like, good that you didn't watch episode 6 of Star Wars. Good. Sam's hatred for Star Wars is palpable. I can feel her anger. The Force surrounds her presence. Our phones are like 1,000 times more powerful than the computer that took us to the moon. Yeah. Yeah. And I can bet your ass that computer that took people to the moon, maybe I shouldn't bet your ass. Bet someone else's ass. I don't think it's working anymore, is what I wanted to say. But then I was like, maybe it is working. And then someone loses their ass. Our phones, it's true. And my PC at home is like a bajillion times more powerful than the moon computer. That's the thing, right? And still, I would like to say that they are resilient. Technically, the PC that I had, also gigabajillions more powerful. The GPU and the CPU are still rock solid, right? And those are the real expensive slash complicated parts. Those are the technological prowess parts. My RAM, I think, got a little bit flaky. I think their timing was off or something, so they got a little bit iffy bo biffy. And I had lost an SSD somewhere along the line. But I did buy some, wasn't exactly off brand, but it wasn't the name brand. It wasn't like, SanDisk or something. I think now I have, or I had a Corsair and a Western Digital SSDs in the computer that I sold Johan. Right, and those SSDs I trust will be a little bit better and more stable than the ones I've had as well. And that computer was going on its 6th year. Got it in 2019, right? No? Got it in 2020. That's right. And that PC was rock solid, right? There's nothing wrong with that thing. That thing is still going to be chugging along for the next 10 years, right? And in that way, I feel there was parts of me that was kind of disappointed with my RAM and technically my motherboard as well, suddenly being busted. But I also lived in South Africa, where, I shit you not, I had power interruptions maybe like 200 times on that PC, where play game or, do work, watch movie, and then suddenly no electricity. And the PC just, and then it kept happening, and it kept happening, and it kept happening. And then one day, my motherboard was like, peace out. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And then I got myself a ultra durable gigabyte motherboard. And then despite all of those getting gaddied by bad power, doesn't seem to be bothered. Doesn't seem to be too bothered. Right? And in that way, I literally did what you're not supposed to do to my computer. Right? If they would like to give you a list, like, make sure you have stable power. Buy yourself a UPS or something. I did end up getting a UPS eventually, but it's extra money, bro. It's extra money. And that PC stayed present, right? Stayed strong. I would have been still using the phone that I bought in 2019 if I didn't drop it into unusability, right? Sometimes you drop a phone and it's cracked. I'll still use it. It's fine. Sometimes you drop a phone and it's broken, I was still using it despite it being broken. I would just like press on the pixels until it was less broken, and then I would continue using it. And still it was still perfectly fine phone. Still perfectly fine. I'd be using it for the next, I think, for at least 3 more years, right? Until it's like 8 or 10 years old. Easy peasy, right? And I don't think anybody ever used their Nokia 3310 for that long. Maybe they're still using it and I'm capping. But I'm pretty sure people ended up replacing their phones even when they had those as well. I've thought about that so they could feel our pain. Yeah, no, Bojack. Sam, keeping the safe space. Yes, Sam, I was like, is that too much? That one sat in a, dare I say, gray area. Really familiar with all things gray. He is Dan Gray, after all. It absolutely is, young Padawan. I think I missed something in the comments. Me too, Nancy. I'm missing it with you. Big love for the space. Sam, a Padawan is a student of the light side. I am, however, no Jedi. I serve only strength through the power of darkness. We got Jaji joining us. Hey, bro. Giving you hugs too. Shiny fruit. It's nice having you. The troll came in and was bounced, man. They said gross things, and I said no. Thank you, Sam. Hey, Varingovas here. Hey, hey. Nice listening to your lessons. Already miss the green view back in South Africa. What do you mean? Oh, look at all this green. Have you been not seeing all of this green we got going on right behind me? Look at watching you. I'll probably stream in the green outside at some point as well. It just has to be comfortable for me to do so. Maybe I'll start wearing jackets and stream. You know, I could see it happening. Sometimes I put my phone down and just listen to what Melt is saying, and even then I miss stuff. And she, love is true. I'm happy to be here with you. These streams are recorded, and there is no expectation from my side that you have to hear every single thing I'm saying. Sometimes I'll say the thing I'm saying that I want you to hear a few times throughout the stream. All right, again, today's thing that needs to be said and needs to be absorbed, I feel, is that all of us are already living the middle way. All of us are somewhere in the middle when it comes to the grand extremes that we are existing within. And instead of seeing that as a bad thing, instead of seeing it as something to be dreaded, see it as something to find a significant amount of comfort within. All right? That you are in the middle of blankets and a mattress. You know? Oh, comfy. Comfy. Hiding away from the cold. Starting to get warm in your blankets. Getting so warm in your blankets that you have to put your arm out, maybe a leg too, so you can stay comfortably in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. You have to smoke bud. I don't think you have to do anything. I did share this whole sentiment that as a little kid, I was fascinated with smoking, right? When I went to the Drakensberga with my family for the first time, the place that we stayed at had like irrigation systems. And I think whoever installed the irrigation systems did so very recently by the time that we got there. And as a result, there were little bits of pipe, all right? Very, very small, like pipe like that, lying on the ground, you know, almost like the size of a cigarette. And then I picked up one of those pipes and I screwed a little screw that I found on the ground into it. It fit so perfectly that screw, I even used my dad's Leatherman. Right, and then suddenly I had what I thought looked like the equivalent of a cigarette. And then as like, I think I was 7 or 6 years old, I would walk outside in the cold and go blowing out fog or vapors, right? The cold vapors. Walking around the kind of estate that we were in, feeling all cool and stuff. And I mean, why? Why was I like that? I don't get it. I don't get it. It is interesting to me that even as kids, we gravitate towards things. I'm happy cigarettes fell out of style before I became an adult. Love all you guys. I'm gonna log off. Not feeling too well. We love you, Christy friend. Hope you feel better soon. We'll be here again for you tomorrow. Let us know how you feel tomorrow. I have a super old Apple computer sitting in the garage somewhere. I'm sure it will still be working, Nancy. I've like heard weirdly enough more good things about Apple products than many. It's like one of those things that Apple products are really rock solid until they break, and then that's a problem, right? Because there's no fixing it, kind of thing. But if it works, it keeps working until it doesn't work, and then you throw it in the trash. The nostalgia for a Nokia is not about it being functional, it's about durability. Nowadays, you drop a phone once and it shatters on contact. Because they're so expensive, now it infuriates folks that they can't be as durable as Nokia proves those products can be. But they can't. Like a smartphone with a screen, right, is a different thing, right? It's not the same thing as a Nokia, right? Putting a basic black and white LCD on something versus having a glass covered, touch sensitive OLED, right? They're two different worlds of products, right? An LCD can kind of take a little bit of a hit. The way that the technology works is simple enough. The sensitivity of an individual pixel on a substrate is different, especially since they, I think, communicate in parallels, right? They have like an array of pixels that gets programmed at the same time and sending a signal to an array, and then that signal can't propagate over to the next pixel. That's when it breaks and stops working. But that's not, I think, at least, a design flaw as much as it's a flaw with the technology itself. To give you an echo of me agreeing with you for the most part, dear Sam friend, is the phone that I used to have these mini curves on the edges of it. And it is on one of those curves that my phone got dropped and completely shattered the rest of it. This phone that I have now has less of a curve, and the newest version of this phone, I got like a 2-year-old model, secondhand, right? Because it's still a good phone. Who needs the newest, bobbiest, right? I probably have to pay $1,000 extra or something like that to get the newest one, and this one for $1,000 less does everything that I needed to. However, upon getting this phone, first thing I did was buy it a proper cover. Right? I technically bought it two covers. The first cover I got it was trash. It was so bad. It made my whole phone square, really square. I don't know why. Who thought that was a good idea? I'm sorry. I'm gonna calm down. And I didn't think it was gonna feel so square. It made my phone feel like I'm holding a brick. And I bought myself technically the more budget friendly, not completely budget, but not. I bought the middle way. I bought the middle way screen protector, and it did come with a little alignment kit. And when I put it on, it was perfectly placed. There was like 3 specks of dust, and then literally, I'm not. I wish I was joking. Literally, the same day that I got my cover and my new screen protector on the phone, I dropped my phone on the road, on the tar road, right? And the cover, of course, blocks a lot of the fall, but in blocking the fall, it pushes up against the screen protector, lifting it up a little bit on the sides, right? So these corners, these corners had like big old bubbles in the corner of them, and the screen did make contact with the tar as well, right? So where those little sharp points, they made like little holes in my screen protector, right? I mean, don't look at me like that. I'm totally not clumsy. Totally. I'm so in it and on it all the time. But that one time that I did drop my phone directly the same day, it completely essentially ruined the screen protector that I had on. And I think it was like a $20 kit for two of them, so relatively speaking, a cheap replacement, right? However, after seeing that and realizing that the screen protector I had was a plastic one, I went to the extreme to keep the topic relevant, right? And I got myself the glass screen protector for this phone, and I meticulously and painstakingly put it on my phone. Noodler actually escaped the house during my process. And this, I hope will keep my screen safe, right? Having an extra piece of glass between, having a middle, having a middle piece of glass between reality and my phone screen. So it is a matter, and I do believe, right? I do believe that this thing will be durable. It was even durable despite the fact that I dropped it on its screen with a plastic cover, right? So putting a glass one on it, at least to me, means that it will be durable enough. It'll last me for as long as it needs to. But it is as you say, it's because they're expensive devices that it can be extra sensitive. I'm happy to say that I paid less. I paid 20% less than half $1,000 for my phone. Right. I feel people are pretty used to paying $1,000 for a phone these days, and the fact that I didn't even have to pay half of that made me very happy. You have to smoke, but you need do nothing. It's true. Oh my goodness, I did bruise myself. Yesterday, I hit my foot against my EUC's pedals, getting off of it. All right, imagine you go riding, and then you come back home, and then in front of your door, you hit your foot against the pedals to the point of having a massive bruise on your body. Alas, alas, pain. This story made my day. The way of the Tao is to allow, not to do. Love is true. You like that story? The story of me as a kid pretending to be a smoker? I'm happy that you like that. Right, Skipper? Hey, Dream Tooth is here. Hoopty hoops. Were you here yesterday? I feel like I was missing you yesterday, bro. Maybe you were just quiet. There are two different worlds of products, and one is designed to break. No, it's not. It's not, Sam. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not designed to break. I dropped this phone, all right, on the literal bricks and tar of the road, all right, and I had it poorly protected with a cheap phone cover and a bad quality screen protector, and it fell screen first into the dirt. Like there was literal micro holes inside of my screen protector, right? Like if you run your finger over it, that you could like feel the divots created in the screen protector, right? That's how hard it hit the ground. And it didn't break because it was designed not to, right? If it was designed to break, they would like put some sort of wires suspended, and then if it drops, those little wires tear off the motherboard or something like that. It's very easy. I know. I can design things to break. Very easy to do, right? Very easy. These things are not designed to break. I just think they're more fragile than what we expect them to be. You know, the same thing with my wheel. I'm realizing that it is more durable than I expected it to be. And despite that, I'm still putting scratches on it. It became mine very quickly. There's no sending it back and asking for a refund. They make them sleek and shiny and play up how thin they are, and it's literally to make them more fragile. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna have to disagree with you a little bit, Sam. Again, that's the way of today's stream topic, all right? The extreme. Oh, they're making them to be broken. No, no, they're not. Actually, no, they're not. Technically, like for example, Sam, look at this. Let me show you this. Where did I put it? Suddenly starts rooking. I'm rooking to see, did I put it back in my bag? Surely I didn't. Would I do such a... Very strange. Very... Oh, there it is. I put it on charge. So, to some of the friends who know him, there's a guy on YouTube called Jerry Rig Everything. Right? And when I got this device, Sam, look at this. Look at this. This is it without its cover. Look at this thing. Right? This is one of those things that got like praised for its sleekness and how thin it is. Maybe I can show you next to a pen. This is like the thickness of a pen, literally. Right? That's a pen's thickness, and that's this device thickness. It's literally thinner than a pen is, like thinner than a pencil. And this thing has been dropped, Sam. This thing has been dropped. You can see, can you see in that corner? I put a glass screen protector on this one as well. It pulls up a little bit there. This thing has been dropped. And again, that Jerry Rig Everything guy that basically like durability tests devices, right? He'll do like scratch tests to see the hardness of the glass, and he does this burn test, which I really don't like because it doesn't prove anything and it's never going to be used. Oh, actually, here on my device, you see that? That's a spot that I had dropped it. It like bent the metal a little bit. Look at how thin that thing is, Sam. I have not been able to break this. Right? I haven't tried that hard. But despite how I live and dropping it off of things, it's alive because it was made to last. And I'm going to get to this point now finally. Jerry Rig Everything, in testing this device's durability, literally tried to break it. He actually tried. Like without this cover on it, he tried to, with his fingers, fucking break the thing in half, and he couldn't do it. He probably has twice the size of arms as mine. He couldn't break it in half. In fact, in him trying to, the glass opened up a little bit and pinched his fingers and ripped some of his skin off of his body. Right? He's the one who got hurt in trying to break that tablet in half. They're made to last. They're made very strong, despite how thin they are. Gorilla Glass and aluminium sandwiched together, made as a solid mass. They're more durable than they've ever been, technically. Right, I believe that. I really do. The only reason my device broke is because it fell in just the wrong way. And I didn't have a screen protector on that one. My screen protector that I had, it got a little bit busted. And then when I removed it, I was like, who needs screen protector? These devices are strong anyway. This guy needs screen protector. They market, let your animal free, please. The animal, you're talking about the bird? The bird is to be let free by Joe, and there is Noodler. Maybe you saw him in the cage behind me. He's not trapped. This door is open. Okay. All right. Or just having myself an old man yells at clouds moment. Dude, how have you been? Yes, exactly. The screen is a matrix of arrays and it populates programmatically like you described. Exactly. That's why they break. They don't break because they're made to be broken. They break because they work in a certain way, right? If you like practicing yoga, right, on a mat, and then I cut your yoga mat in a bunch of small pieces, make them like blocks this size. Technically, you could still try and practice on that yoga mat, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do so. Go down, Zoo. What kind of weed do you grow? I live in a state where growing weed would still be illegal, unfortunately. I do think we have enough yard space. I don't know if I would be getting wrecked by other people's pollen potentially, but I don't grow weed. Alas. I think it would be fun. We do have other plants in our home, right? That's pretty much what we got. Got them little plants. Yes, to sharing. I'm doing well. I'm happy to hear that, Hoopy. Welly well. I don't think I've ever seen you be that well. I like hearing that, Hoops, saying, please add fire. Fire. Settle down, Beavis. Love is true. To share, circle, cause fire, and story go together. Oh yeah. Be more careful, Sam. I've never cracked an iPhone. Yep. I've only technically cracked a single device, and that was the one that I had last time. Right? I've had touchscreen devices since I was 14. I think I bought my cell phone full of my saved money at the age of 14, right? So in 20 no, in 14 years. In 14 years I've managed to break one. And again, I feel like I was double at fault because the reason I dropped my phone was because I was trying to shoo the cat away from eating our table that was set. All right, I come into the dinner into the dining room. There we go. I come into the dining room and Ginger is just like on top of our food, eating it, and I go, "Hey, hey, oh, let's get away from my food." I didn't even get to touch him. He knew what he was doing was wrong, and then in that I dropped my phone. Little did I know that I was supposed to be Zen mode 5000. Even when cat tries to eat my food off table, I should just not react hastily, and then I wouldn't have dropped my phone in the way that I did, and it would still be here with me. All right, I would have a total of 0 phones cracked at this point. So Melt fasted yesterday, so the food tastes better today. Oh, it does in a way work that way, actually, Hoopy. I don't know if it tastes better, but you taste better, right? You savor more. Like me and Joe had some broccoli. We just have some broccoli, and both of us are like savoring these pieces of broccoli that we're sharing. Dang, maybe I should be careful. I feel like I've broken several. Do you like bare pebble them? Did you put screen protectors and covers on them as well? I think it is one of those things where it makes your phone feel a little bit less sleek and fancy, but if you get a good cover, it still keeps that feeling. The one I had was like an off-brand. I think it was called Superfine or something like that. It had like a MagSafe thingy on it as well, which I thought was nice, but couldn't charge it on the wireless device charger that I had, so I would have to like take the cover off my phone to charge it every night. And I was like, oh, I hate this. I don't like that. And then I got myself this one, and it is technically 3 times the price of the one that I had before, but then there was an Amazon sale which made it only 2 times the price. So I was like, oh well, bargain. Getting freaking consumerism, but this cover is better. It's a big surprise. Paying 3 times as much for the cover makes it 3 times as good. And I think it is pretty much 3 times as good. Texture feels better, it has better curvature, and with the screen protector I have, it literally matches it perfectly. It doesn't push up against the edges. It might if I drop it, but alas. This phone is gonna last a long time. You guys are fooling yourself if you think cell phone designers aren't making these damn things easier to break on purpose. This is an American-made product for you. Technically, this is a Korean product, this one that I'm using. And double technically, the screen protector is also a Korean product, right? And triple technically, all of them lose money if their devices break. Right, at the very least in their warranty timeline, right? Because then they have to replace stuff. They are not designing them to break. I'm gonna have to keep pushing that contrast. Dear Sam. Melt, I hear you about worrying. I'm here for yes and. Yes and. What do you want a yes and? Do let us know. I don't know how many more times I need to say it. We're pirates from the top down, and we'll do whatever we have to take your gold. All of it. I'm here to worry and do some things affecting my situation. I mean, some worry could be helpful. I'll be willing to admit that much with you, Hoopty Hoops. I think it's up to us to find the middle way and exactly how much we need to be worrying. That's the way I see it, at least. Everyone knows Americans are consumers. Why make you something built to last? Again, I think things are built to last. It's just about what you're paying for them, right? For example, the JBL speaker I have. Yes, it was an expensive product that I got for myself. I got it for myself because my other speaker got stolen, right? Also a JBL. But the reason I got myself another one is because the one that I had was a tank, all right? Dropping it down hillsides, hitting it against walls, throwing it in the back of a car and it rolling around unscratched. Well, I mean, mostly, like unaffected. The quality of the output of that device was unaffected. I've seen, and maybe this is a marketing push, but I've seen literal videos of someone finding one of those speakers out at sea, to the point where mussels have started using it as a home. Like it's literally caked in mussels. And then they hit the power button and it goes on. And then he connects to it with his phone, and then it plays music. Right? The thing is literally like, I want to show you almost. It literally looks comical, like out of a movie of like that. Surely that can't be real, kind of thing, right? It's real. JBL out of the sea. Yeah, look at this. Look at this thing. Look at what that thing looks like. It's playing. It's still playing. Yes. Look, it's covered in mussels and seaweed. And it's still playing. Right? That to me is proof enough that it is a matter of what product you get. Right? There are companies that pride themselves in making things that last. And if you spend the kind of money to get that kind of product, the one that lasts, it will. And if it doesn't, then the cool thing about these companies is they have a reputation to uphold. You can send it back. Be like, there's something not right on this one. This one was not as durable as it's supposed to be. iPhone screens are made from a special ultra durable glass called Gorilla Glass. Jobs picked it himself. Sorry, Sam, you're just not strong enough in the dark side to keep yours safe. Yeah. All right. Like, we dark side users, leaning into the whole thing that Dan is doing, we put little shields with our minds around our phones, keeping them safe and unbroken. Like your health, what would pharmaceutical companies do with a healthy you? I don't take any pharmaceuticals, right? And that's the thing as well. Living the middle way that I've lived, taking care of myself the way that I have, I've never needed any pharmaceuticals. And in that way, I've never been a customer to those companies, right? I would like to agree with you that I don't think those companies have it in their best interest, their financial interest, in order to, or to heal you. However, the best thing to not do is get sick. All right, take good enough care of yourself, or you'll never need their help in the first place. Look how much gold is at the Denver Mint. You ain't kidding, Sam. Yeah, people are selling so much of it. People are selling like all of it, to the point where the vendors are having a hard time actually intaking any more gold. I think the gold price even dropped because of it. All right, let me see. Oh my, not that much. It did fall a little bit. Oh, it fell a lot for a second. Yeah, it fell from 5,300 to 4,700 in, what is that, 3 days? That is pretty extreme. And it is because the people that are buying the gold literally don't have enough cash to do so anymore, because everybody is just trying to cash out as fast as they can right now. That's one side of it. And then the other side of it is they can't process it enough back into bullion to actually be able to sell it to the people that want to buy bars. All right. We live in like such a wacky time. It's literally maximum Bo absurdius. How absurd can we get? All of the absurd, I think. I hope it's a healthy day finding for you, dear friend, extremely healthy, and knowing the fear is like a call from inside the house. I choose not to send healing vibes with my mind as you suggest, but with my whole heart. Aw, Hoopty, get better soon, Zhao. Thank you for that. I think she might be resting. I don't know if she's in chat right now, but I'll tell her that you said that. Melt, we have the exact same speaker, $150, and it was worth every penny. That thing bumps. Can't wait to take it on a hike when the weather warms up. Yep, they're really good. They're really good. The first JBL I had myself was one of those flips. I think I had the Flip 3. It was that big. And that thing bumped at max volume for, I think, 5 years. And then I showered with it over and over again for a long time. And that was one of the older models. And then it did eventually stop working, right? A little bit, to be completely honest. And then I got myself another one. And the only reason I don't have that one right now is because it got stolen. And then I got myself this one. And I'm going to get myself more when I can afford to. Right? I do want 4. So I can have full surround sound, 1 in each corner. Right? And then if I so feel to, 1 in each room. And then I can push all of my Auracast buttons. And then all of my music is everywhere all the time. Melt, you can just use earphones. Hey, let me dream, okay? The proof of lasting received. Yes, dog synchronicity. I have a JBL flip. I had a JBL flip, and it wasn't enough bass, so I upgraded the pill. We have the same speakers in the plural. Even though I do like sharing the synchronicity, I don't think mine is the pill. I think mine might be the Extreme 4. Does yours have a replaceable battery? I think that's one of the reasons that I got this one. Right? So again, with the whole fractal of like these companies, the good companies are trying to make products that last. This one is one of them. Right? So not only do I trust that the speaker technology in itself will be durable, but they did that for you. They give you screw holes and a little tab to pull on, and then you go, and you can remove the battery. When this battery, because that would be the part that wears, right, as charge cycles go in and out of it. Then you can just, and you can put a new one, and then the speaker is good as new, pretty much. Oh yeah, yours is bigger. A little bit. This is still not big enough for me, Dad. I had one of the boom boxes. I still miss my boom box. That'll be the 5th speaker I get myself. I'll get myself 3 more of these, and then I'll get myself 1 Thickum boom box. Bothickius boom boxer to go in the middle of whatever room I'm sitting in. I heard you say that. I heard you. He's already been out of his cage this morning. He's been fed. He gets like this very fancy dry mix vegetables that we mix with warm water to rehydrate. And then he gets like little scoops of peanut powder in that as well. And then he adds some almonds as he was going to bed or going back to cage. I gave him some blueberries and banana. No, blueberries and almonds yesterday. The day before that, I gave him some bananas. Now I want yours. It is nice. They sell them relatively cheaply on Amazon refurbished. Right? Or used, they say. And I think it's literally people that like had a party and they bought one and they finished the party and then they sent it back. So, and again, we know how durable these things are. So, and I think they're $150 or like 200 flat or something like that. Dan, buy yourself the refurbished ones, bro. And again, the cool thing with Amazon is like if it doesn't meet your standards, you send it back again. That's in part how I think if I get myself my full set of 4, that's how I'll do it. Right? The nice thing is as well is that when you have a set of 4, you can like cover a big space. There's a little park down there that I would maybe at some point want to like do like mini events and, you know, invite people out to do arts and craft or something. And then being able to like put one of those speakers in each corner, sync them all up. Pretty nice. Wait, can you sync up multiple JBLs? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the point. You didn't know you can do that, Dad? You didn't know that was a thing? I'm not trying to make fun, but you see this button? This is the new standard that they're using. They used to use, I think, JBL Connect Plus or something like that. It had like a little infinity symbol. You could probably still see it in your old flip. Had like an infinity symbol. And now they are using Auracast. Auracast, I think, is going to be the new standard that sticks around for a while. But yeah, essentially, and that's how easy it is. Oh, that's a mind blow? You don't know. That's the coolest part about JBL. That's why I'm a JBL fanboy, is that all of your homies, everybody that has JBL, and even technically, my brother has the previous model. And then you download the app, and then you start a party, and then you can connect their JBL, the old JBLs, to the new JBLs as well. But the nice thing about this new standard is that if I have 10 speakers, I think you can do up to 100, Dan. I think it's 100, maybe 99. Hey Google, how many JBLs can I connect to each other through Auracast? Yeah, 100 devices.
Unlike older technologies like Party Boost or Connect Plus, which were limited to 100 devices, Auracast functions like a radio broadcast where any compatible speaker within range can tune in. Quick facts. Limit. Virtually unlimited. No hard software cap.
Virtually unlimited. Virtually. You can connect more than 100 of these to a single source and have them output at the same time. That is very cool. Very, very cool to me. I like that a lot. Like it makes the technomancer brain in me like, oh, oh. Okay, I'm bringing my speakers to your wedding then. Let's get as many as we can have. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is the way, bro. Everybody wants one. And then when we come together as homies, everybody gets to sing at the same time. I have connection to millions of devices thanks to my ISP, REV. I don't know what the REV means, but I know what the ISP means. And it's true. I can connect to your device, technically. I don't have any control over your device, but there is a connection happening. I bet the limit is just a memory limit in the CPUs, which takes an absurd amount of speakers to hit. That's the thing. So how Auracasts work, and it's on that device. This device is an Auracast device, Auracast capable device as well, which means it creates a radio broadcast, literally. So it outputs a signal, right? A radio broadcast. And the cool thing is, and I'm pretty sure that's the way it works, is these devices echo that same radio frequency when you hit this button on them. So they in themselves become the signal amplifiers as well, right? So instead of it having to be, as you said, like a CPU limitation, the CPU, its only job is to output this radio signal, right? Where Bluetooth is a kind of like channel thing. They have to like send signal here and send signal there and send the signal at the same time. With Auracast, it creates like a wave signal, and then the speakers tune into the signal, and then they can perpetuate that signal amongst themselves. Yeah, you can't control me from way over there. Get controlled, hoopty hoops. I just rearranged all of your brain neurons so that you are 10% smarter, 5% happier, and 2% more attractive. Yep. Get blessed. Oh, look away now. You look away again. Look back. Get more blessed. Very interesting. Commuter speakers. Wop wop. Oh yeah. I do like my technologies. I am, I believe, the right amount of technomancer. Technomancer enough to know how to use my tech and to really like it, but not technomancer to the point where that's the only thing that I engage myself with. I posted all my flowers. I posted all my flowers to my Patreon. We are officially done. Me closing all the tabs I have open. Nice. Flowers upon flowers upon flowers have been made. I think I've shown you most of the ones. I did show you all the new ones that I had made. Alright. And if you're a Patreon supporter like Eric is, a friend of ours, You'll know. I was taught that CPUs are the same as input and output devices. It's not technically wrong. My info is just as updated like my sound system. Technically that is what a CPU is, right? CPUs input signals, they have like a bunch of pins all around them and throughout their entire substrate. And then you input, and then it has gates that basically build logic, and then it has an output at the other side of that logic gate. Right? So yes, technically, technically they're input output devices. Yeah. Said hi. Hey, this. I'm not gonna read your username, but hi, hi. I want to show you flowers. Let's see if this thing will focus. There we go. Yeah, yeah. You've seen these. These you've seen. Ooh, this is one of my favorite flowers from a while now. Integrating ice or snow, I should say rather, into my flower makes me bow happies. The CPU is like the Wuhan city of computers. It's where all the other processing info comes together. Exactly. Exactly as Dan said. You womp. Jump. And I think, not yet. There we go. From here are the new ones you haven't seen yet. Wall art decor. I do like decorating people's walls with my art, it's true. I do want to make like really premium pieces where I like really go out of my way to make these very special to the person that buys it from me. Yo, the way the light is messing with me too. All right, and then one more. Yeah. This is the last one. This was yesterday's flower. Me all caught up with my flowers. What a sense of relief that brought as soon as I had them all posted finally. Just this sense of like, oh, thank goodness. It's done. I bo diddly did it. Now I need to do another one with what I'm wearing today. I think it would be a cool flower. But there we go. I've shown you flowers. You made it special. You know. You know, hoopty hoops. I love making things special for my friends. For my friend. Yeah. Now it's time for us to pull a card. More flowers. Yes. You thought we were done flowering? Nay. There are flowers everywhere. Pop! Even inside, there are flowers. Not on the sides though. I wanted to put some on the sides as well, but I felt the white space added to it. Almost left the card behind. I did pull this one recently, so I'll have to shuffle my deck a little bit, but I need to re-laminate these cards at some point. They are getting a little bit crispy. What's the time? Okay. I have a meeting in an hour. There we go. And now it will be time. You're going to, when you feel the need to, tell me to stop. And when I see the stops in chat, I will stop flaring these cards, and whichever card my thumb is on will be the one that I pull and read for us. Whoa, that was quick. There's technically two cards my thumb was on today, Dan. We pulled one of these cards very recently, so I'll put that one back. We pulled it like 2 days ago. And then this will be the one that reveals the golden mandala. We did talk about gold a bit today, didn't we? I think this is the only card that has the word gold. No, it's diamond. How did I do that? Guess the golden center messed with me a little bit. It's a diamond mandala, not a golden mandala. Alrighty. This is what this card looks like. Shooting stars and spirals. Lightning strikes. And energy emanating from the center of this card. The diamond mandala. Card number 17. Let's see. Just touch some of my bruises. Other dimensions. That's what this card's theme is. It talks about other dimensions. Very trippy. Whirling out from the womb of the cosmos, energy is the most basic stuff of creation. Every quark and molecule of humankind and of the entire multiverse consists of tiny packets of energy and light. The spirit, or light body, is spoken of in some ancient philosophies as the diamond soul, and is believed to be the eventual course of evolution for humanity as a whole. It is multidimensional and holographic, and it could be pictured as your interdimensional passport. Meditate. Travel with this image to other dimensions, envisioning bringing forth your pure diamond light. This essence is the brilliant core of you that shines in love, compassion, fulfillment, and joy. This diamond soul is within you. As you bring it forward, it will put you on a path illuminated by your own inner radiance. Employ this card to journey to dimensions so brilliant that your heart bursts open in rapture. Sit in this bliss and soak up the light. Sit with your brilliance as long as you are able, and then slowly, consciously return to your physical body in the here and now. When you return from this meditation, you may need some time to integrate the light that you now contain. Ask to assimilate this energy in a holistic manner so you may make use of it in the highest and best manner possible. Technically, we did pull these cards reversed, and the reverse meaning goes, know that allowing your light to shine does not diminish the light of others. I paraphrased. The direct line goes, know that allowing your light to shine does not mean trying to outshine others. Allowing your light to shine does not mean trying to outshine others. Today's stream topic was in part about that, right? This mindfulness of the middle way that we're all walking on. Realizing that there is extremes in darkness and there is extremes in light. realizing that in shining our light, we don't diminish the lights of others. We are adding in the only way that we are capable, living into the middle way as much as we can. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me again, for finding some time to spend some with me. It really is a pleasure to share this space. I'll say goodbye for today, and I'll see you again soon, tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. I love you. Till we do it again. Goodbye, everyone.